Hello and welcome everyone to today's show on For Your Investments. Today I have a very special guest with us, someone who's actually learned charts, someone who's made a career with charting, trading, Vishal Mehta. Vishal, I'm very excited to have you here and talk to you. For all our guests, let me tell you about Vishal. So Vishal's got a very strong and rich background when it comes to trading and technical analysis. He is a CMT, a chartered market technician from the USA, and is a co-chair for the India chapter. Seeing benefits of systematic trading and growth in automated trading, Vishal has actually started focusing on systematic strategies. He's worked with leading financial institutions like Bloomberg, Reuters, Spider Software, Reliable Software, and Financial Technologies. Vishal has also achieved a feat of training technical analysis to major central banks. Vishal, very interesting. Like Sri Lanka, Maldives, Nepal, and India. He's featured in Money Control and the face to face series on eLearn Markets. Vishal has done a lot of education seminars on technical analysis, and thank you for being here with Fisdom, Vishal, and talking to us about how traders or beginners can make money in the market using charts. Vishal, very excited to tell you that Fisdom has started our broking platform, and we're also getting budding traders in the market. We're also ensuring that these traders get a platform to come do trades with a fixed set of brokerage. This brokerage is basically a subscription that they pay out. And against that subscription, we're giving stop loss reports, we're giving market terminals, and a flat fee against which traders can benefit from their trading. Vishal, let me first ask you the very important question. What
Right.
brings you to the stock market? Tell us and our viewers what actually interested you to come to the stock market.
Definitely, Nainesh. And thanks a lot for getting me to this platform for your investment. And I've seen past videos, बहुत ही exciting videos से बहुत knowledgeable persons have been to your web series. So it's pretty interesting. And I really wanted to thank Fisdom as well. So let's talk about what मुझे stock market में कैसे आया हुआ. So stock market was actually not very different to me because my father was a stockbroker for Bombay Stock Exchange. So I've actually seen him going to the ring and trading on the pit. Okay, but I was too young. I would call it very naive, and I didn't knew कि what are they doing. What I realized is basically हाँ कुछ तो हो रहा है वहाँ पे जहाँ पे screaming and shouting हो रही है. Never wanted to be in that business to be honest, but somehow जो बोलते हैं ना कि भाई खून में है तो आना ही है. So after my graduation of from my Medibai College on BSc Statistics, I started wondering what career option should I be choosing. And interestingly, my dad told me that there is one course, like one of his colleague used to keep on telling him about something called candlestick, and he used to tell him like buy this stock, sell this stock. So he said, "Okay, why I should depend on anyone else? You are my kid, go and learn by yourself." So I went to BSc Bombay Stock Exchange Training Institute and started learning. And trust me, Nainesh, I didn't knew what is the stock market at that point of time. मतलब वो stock क्या होता है और buying selling क्या होती है, even I didn't knew that. But my first exposure was like directly a 200-day moving average and a bar chart and a candlestick chart. Okay, so I just realized that people buy sell, but when they are buying and selling, okay, but it is plotted into a price. And then I started looking out for jobs. So my first job was Spider Software, and I'm sure lot of people have used a software called as Iris, and till date it is one of the highest used software being used in the technical analysis. Then luckily I get an opportunity to work with reliable software, which is again a technical analysis. And वो एक पीरियड में मुझे इतना एक्सपोजर मिला नैनेश, can't believe it, because every day I used to meet at least 3 new traders. Every day there will be 3 new traders I'm meeting. So वहां पे कोई बोल रहा है मुझे ट्रेंड फॉलोइंग कोई सिस्टम दिखाओ, कोई बोल रहा है मीन रिवर्जन ट्रेडिंग सिस्टम दिखाओ, कोई बॉलिंगर बैंड पे दिखाओ. So my knowledge about technical analysis started going multifold. And that's how I started my journey into the technical analysis. Then luckily I got a lot of big opportunity to work with multinational companies like Bloomberg and Thomson Reuters also, where I was able to take that knowledge of technical analysis and actually teach with or educate the buy side, like of mutual fund. I have done many sessions in LIC, Okay, I was
Wow.
surprised that LIC can also be interested into technical analysis. So it was a good journey for me.
So very interesting. You've actually seen your father go to the ring, do trades, do sodas with kind of the way that they used to in the ring. Everyone
Right.
shouting and hand actions, and that's how they manage. So
Yeah.
let's talk about technical analysis. Like, what got you interested in technicals? I mean, your first learning that you did in the BSc Institute, you learned the 200 day moving average and importance of that. What is it that actually made you feel like, no, this candlesticks or whatever that you're doing with technicals is what interests you, and that is what you want to do all your life?
So a brilliant point and a question, Nainesh, कि जब भी मैंने स्टार्ट किया था बीइंग फ्रॉम अ साइंस बैकग्राउंड बीएससी स्टैटिस्टिक्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मुझे बैलेंस शीट कभी समझ नहीं आई ओके अभी तक वो क्वेश्चन मुझे भी है कि डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन अगर मुझे कुछ मिल रहा है तो व्हाई इट शुड बी डेबिटेड ओके सो लाइक फ्रॉम अ लेमन पर्सपेक्टिव दिस कॉन्सेप्ट डिड नॉट काइंड ऑफ गॉट इनटू मी बट आई एम मोर ऑफ अ विजुअल पर्सन my visual memory as you can see like I can remember the chart. I may forget the numbers, but I remember the chart patterns and everything. So my visual memory was very strong. So I said, okay, I've been seeing this, patterns again and again and again building up on the chart, and I can recollect them. And that's where I said, okay, you know what? I think so I'm very well toward it. And over a period of time, Nanesh, you would not believe, but this became like a what do you call lack of a better word, kind of a habit कि भाई वो मेरे को डेली एटलीस्ट एक दो घंटा चार्ट देखना है तो देखना है so it became like a
Wow.
habit to me so then over a period of time I started realizing certain stocks behave in a certain way like I'll give you a simple example when there is a movement in Titan I will just start looking at just dial somehow I know those relations are very strong so you start building up those kind of relation in your mind those kind of patterns in your mind and I started working out pretty well for me.
No, great. I think for a technical analyst, very very important to understand the importance of charts and how you kind of make the most out of them. Vishal, one question before I take you to today's topic of you telling us how to find the tops and bottoms. Okay, if
Sure.
something every trader wants to know, सबको जानना है मार्केट का टॉप किधर है और बॉटम किधर है, माल कहाँ
Yes.
लेना है, कहाँ बेचना है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है,
True.
उसके पहले I'll ask you one question, very important. Okay, tell us about your experience, your first trade experience in the market, where one you made money, one you lost money. Tell us about your
Sure.
learnings. एक experience ऐसा बताओ जहाँ आपने बहुत पैसा बनाया and you knew कि this is how it will go or this is the right time to move out. Or and second, tell us about your biggest loss or your first time loss and how you managed to cope up with it.
Mhm. No, I'll definitely do that, Nainesh. So first is basically I will talk about my experience about a company where I actually made multifold returns. Okay, multifold is the understatement that I'm making right now. So the stock that I bought was called as Jacob, and if you go
Okay.
back in the chart and around 2007, just before the crash, okay,
Okay.
I was working with a broking house. Somehow I heard some news going around that you should buy Jacob. At that time, although I was a technical analyst, but you keep your eyes and ears open, right? So, Tabi Jacob, I don't remember the exact number, but I remember I bought a quantity worth of 25,000 only because it was hitting upper circuit
Okay.
every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, 25,000 है, वो पंट आता है. And I put my trade into it on the circuit, upper circuit, मैंने लेने के लिए रखा, and miraculously I got a fill. And that's the most scary part when you think that you should buy the stock and if you get the fill, then you are like, ये fill मिल गया तो अभी lower circuit चालू होगा, and which it did for a few days. And then I
Okay.
actually forgot about it. And interestingly, after a point of time, when I started looking at my statement, Nainesh, you would not believe my 25,000 turned into 12.5 lakh. If you go back
Wow.
into the chart of, because it has a split bonus and they had a lot of things that is happening even after that, prices started going up all the time. So I was like, like a layman person and a greedy person. Okay, I was actually started calculating आज circuit लगा है तो based on the next day 5% circuit how much money will I make. I had no exit plan in place,
Okay.
like I have
Okay.
just looking at this thing, But obviously, when the Jacob started coming down in the fall, I was able to capture to the tune of 7.5 lakh, which was my
Okay.
earliest experience. But that experience actually taught me a very, very important lesson in life, and that is still stays with me. And the lesson was buy the stock which are trading at all time high.
Yeah.
Okay, the stock was trading at that all time high, and after that, even my father told me that Infosys ka IPO was undersubscribed. Okay,
Okay.
and it was oversubscribed by an institution. It bought it, and from 13 rupees it went to 13,000 rupees. It cannot go from 13 rupees to 13,000 rupees, making an all time low. Somewhere
Correct.
it has to make a new high all the time. And that's where I started building certain philosophy about the market. Second philosophy about, like, trade, there where I've lost a lot of money and taught me a lot of lessons about the risk management. So again, beginning of my career, my uncle gave me some money to trade with. Okay, so he gave me some 10 lakh rupees to trade with, and I actually bought only one stock. Okay, I actually bought a stock, just UCO Bank, which was getting listed. So I'm a still
Okay.
believer of buying a stock which are making a new IPO based breakouts. आईपी होने के बाद लोग भूल जाते हैं, and then when there is, like, if you go back to the chart of, I would say abhi FLA India, IRCTC, there are quite a few examples, where, this is something what we call as an IPO based breakout, like Adani Wilbur for today. In fact, I'm in long in Adani Wilbur right now. So obviously, it is not a recommendation. I'm not a CB registered investment advisor, but this is what I do, where IPO is getting breakout. So I bought a UCO Bank, और यूको बैंक में हम लोग ने कुछ 10,000 शेयर की पोजीशन बना ली थी. आई रिमेंबर दैट, एंड आई वाज मेकिंग सम 3-4 lakh rupees in a
Wow.
10 lakh investment. Of 4 lakh profit was, like, good profit. And my colleagues used to ask me, like, Vishal, itna paisa ban raha hai na? I was just out of the college. So he said, boss, itna paisa ban raha hai, to book it. Again, I had no exit plan. I said, नहीं, ये इससे तो I wanted to buy a new high-end Maruti car. And then all of a sudden, as happens with everyone, my stock crashed, and I actually sold at the bottom of that stock. Okay, and incurred a loss of 2-3 lakh rupees. I still remember that, and that was the time I realized the importance of diversification, importance of exit. So these were the two experiences that really dawned on me in my life and stays with me for a while.
No, I think very interesting, Vishal. So you've actually given us an insight on two things or two systems. One which you mentioned, when a stock hits lifetime high, you should actually be a buyer and not a seller. So very, very important. I mean, technical analysis point of view, it's going to uncharted territory. Sky's the limit, right, for an uncharted stock. Unlike the retail mindset where they say कि ये price कभी नहीं आया बेच दो, सबसे ज्यादा पैसा मिल रहा है बेच दो. That's the time where retail is actually exiting. The second one, which you rightly mentioned, is obviously trade management and an exit plan. बहुत ही important है. आप trade जब enter करते हो, exit plan पहले ready होना चाहिए. It's very important to take the money off the table at the right time, right? Otherwise, you'll end up blowing your account. So, thank
Yes.
you. This was an amazing understanding of what you should do and what you shouldn't do in the
Should not
market.
do that.
लेट्स गो टू द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. ठीक है,
Mm.
आज सभी ने ज्वाइन किया है एक ही चीज जानने के लिए. विशाल, हेल्प अस एंड आवर व्यूअर्स टू अंडरस्टैंड मार्केट में हाई कैसे बनता है और लो कैसे बनता है, और बनता है तो पता कैसे चलता है. हाउ डू आई नो दिस इज द एंड? How do I know this isn't the end? So before we go to that topic, okay,
Mm.
obviously, I'd obviously let you talk about first. We'll say Dow theory, okay? When we talk technical, we always say Dow theory. Dow
Mm.
theory, we say that history repeats itself. Tell me about this. Does history
Sure.
actually repeat itself?
Sure, sure. And the answer is yes, but it repeats, but not exactly it rhymes. So we'll just hold on for a second. Let me just share my presentation, and maybe we can take it up from there.
Sure, sure, sure.
So let me know once you're able to see the presentation, Nainesh. Perfect. Awesome. So yes, we are going to talk about something very interesting, like trading setup for beginners. But obviously, being a trader, I really wanted to make sure कि जो top and bottom है, सबको interest वहीं पे है, including me. And what are we doing to find out those, kind of trading setups? So again, just before that, Nainesh, I just wanted to make sure that the disclaimer is clearly out that I'm not a SEBI registered investment advisor or a financial advisor. Here, I'm going to take some of the stocks and everything. These are for purely educational purposes, and make sure that you only invest or trade with the money that you are afford to lose it. So just read the disclaimer. So a quick, I think so. You have already given my quick background, but I'll just take a small snippet of it. I'm a chartered market technician, so it's a dedicated course on technical analysis. Okay, it's not just just read the book and you become a technical analyst. What I've realized over a period of time that the way people study the fundamental analysis, do a CFA, and real technical analysis also comes with a lot of study and rigorous, because sometimes people look at a technical analysis a little in a downward side, because they think that technical analysis is nothing but just buy about this, stop loss this, target this, that's it. But if you really understand, in US and everywhere I know, like a hedge fund like Fidelity, hedge fund like BlackRock's, they actually hire technical analysis for their timing of the market. So fundamental analysis gives them the what to buy, and technical analysis tells them when to buy. So this is how I, kind of being part of the CMT team. I have traveled across the world, obviously, and I have been to various organizations. But yeah, so before I jump into it, I always get this question, Nainesh. I thought I'll just answer this on behalf of you. Okay, what really helped me as a trader? And I think so. Reading of lot of books. A lot of people say that learn from your mistakes, but I see why learn from only from your mistakes. Learn from others' mistake as well, or learn from others' experience as well. And in that way, the books like Market Wizard, the Stock Market Wizard, the Hedge Fund Wizard, can you see all these books of the Market Wizard are actually
Vishal, tell us. Sorry, Vishal, tell us two books that our users must read before they come to the market.
there is not two books, there are at least 6 7 books, I would say. But
Okay,
if I
your
want to
best
put it
ones.
in a series, yeah, the if I wanted to put it on the series, the Market Wizard series, like by Jack Schwager. It is a series of Market Wizard, New Market Wizard, Stock Market Wizard, Hedge Fund Wizard, and there is something called as recently launched called as Unknown Market Wizard. These are the interviews of the world's top trader who have actually proven their worth, and they share their experiences. They don't talk about strategies. They talk about how they became a trader, their journey, the way we are doing it right now. But in during that journey you will learn so much that is unbelievable. And another book that I would highly recommend to all the investors or traders is called as How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. And he comes out with this concept called as can slim. It's like mixing fundamental and technical approach to come out with a very good nice picks and finding multi-bagger stocks. So yeah, that's two series of the books that I would, as you can see, I get a lot of books, and these are all my collection of my Kindle. So I keep on reading a lot of books, which helped me a lot, by the way.
Wow.
And the CMT, and the last part, like I met up with a lot of legendary trader, and today I'm going to go talk about one of the legendary indicator. And I was in New York, CMT
Wow.
symposium, and I'm sure a lot of you would be using an indicator called as MSCD, but nobody knows what is, sometimes doesn't know what is the full form of MSCD or who founded it. So the full form is called as moving average convergent divergence. And the person, Mr. Gerard Laprel, he's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he was the founder, and we got an opportunity to sit with him and interact with him. KK, how did he go about thinking about an indicator? How did he build an indicator? I got an opportunity to interact with Mr. Martin Pring, right? कोई भी technical analysis आप उठा लो, Martin Pring is the must book that everybody is going to read it. JC Parrots is an legendary in its own term. Like इतना simple analysis कोई नहीं करता. And this is a very interesting person, Tony Saliba. So in the Market Wizard book, there was a chapter, and I was very fascinated by that chapter because वो chapter का नाम था One Lot Trader.
Okay.
Okay, one lot trader in a Market Wizard series where hedge fund managers who are managing billions and billions of dollars. So I got an interaction So he traded one strategy for 1 year with only one lot. बहुत
Wow.
सारे ट्रेडर आज की तारीख में हम लोग ट्विटर के बड़े बड़े M2M स्क्रीनशॉट देख के we forget about what is risk management or what is position size. But here is a classic example of a market wizard who traded one strategy for one lot for entire 1 year till he became comfortable. So yeah, that's the story of how what inspires me to be a good trader and where I go back when I'm in a drawdown or I want to look for inspiration.
Wow, very interesting, Vishal. So, coming back to our question, Vishal, tell us about history repeating itself. Tell me, do
Perfect.
you really think history repeats itself, and what is the learning from that?
Right. So yeah, a question. History it's a technical analysis का एक cardinal rule है. History repeats itself, and here a CMT is actually saying history does not repeat itself. It's a very cardinal, uh, you know, conflict right now. But what I believe is history, and this is my belief, history doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes. मतलब the characteristics are the same. Like market may fall like in 2020 we saw the corona crash. Okay, prior to that 2008 was subprime
Subprime
mortgage.
crisis.
2002 was tech 2000 tech bubble. So there will be different reason, but the way human beings behave will be the same. The way the human being behaves will always be the same. So I just wanted to ask you one question, Nainesh, and maybe to the audience. Let's go to the audience and ask them, like, which was the biggest fall in the history of trading? At least, let's say for a global market. Like,
Okay.
let me make your life easier. Dow Jones.
Okay, sure. So let's ask the audience a question. Audience, we have a question for you. Which was the biggest fall in the stock market? So we are talking about Dow Jones. In Dow Jones, in which year did we have the biggest fall? Let's get some
One of the
answers.
biggest fall. One of the biggest falls.
Okay, one of the
Let's
biggest
be
falls. Sure. Let's get some answers from the audience, and let's see if the audience is actually okay. We've got someone who's saying the COVID fall.
okay. Let's
We've
wait
got
for a few more questions. Yeah.
Akansh who's saying global recession. Okay.
Okay. Let's wait for a few more.
1897.
1897. Wow, Ritik. Like I was not even born that point of time, and neither on the other major crisis. But yeah, possible. What else? So let's. I think so. These are 1991. Arunish is saying. Okay, interesting. But I think so. The biggest fall
Nine.
that got registered in the history was
Let me try.
1929 global. Yeah,
1929.
it's
Yeah.
yes.
1929. Yeah.
So 1929 was the year of a Great Depression. Everything was going good, and the prices came down. 19, it just cracked like anything. Okay, and Jason Livermore, one of the legendary trader ever lived, made a killing in this fall. But lot of retail trader kind of got
Lost
trapped,
money.
lost money. There was someone who just mentioned about this. What's the next biggest crash that a Dow Jones seen after almost 30, maybe 50 years? You want to take a year
Guys, just
guess?
yeah, the next biggest crisis after 1929, which is the next biggest crisis that we saw in the markets.
So Niket is saying. So
He's
I think so.
replying for the previous.
Ashutosh was actually little early and better. So it was 1987. Okay. The next fall in the Dow Jones was 1987. Now, if I'm going to put these two charts together, this is the 1929 crash and this is 1987 crash. And if I would have removed these 2 years, and if I would have told you this was 1987 and this is 1929, it would have not major difference, provided the scales were different, right?
Right.
QK, the way human being behaves is the same. The way human being behave, the greed and fear has not changed. We can always debate about there are computers aa gaye hai, there are algorithms, but who build those algorithms? Human beings, right?
Right.
So the way human behavior is going to be there in say 1929, 1987, come wait in the future also, the way human being will react is the same, and that's why history may not repeat itself exactly for the words, but it will always look like a similar pattern.
Wow.
Okay, so lessons learned from the history. At least मेरी generation का तो biggest lesson है, it came in 2008.
Eight.
Look at
Yeah.
the chart and we'll talk about it, how you are going to able to figure out the near top and the near bottom in the future. Next crash that we remembered was 2020.
2020.
Yes. Now, if I'm going to plot them together, can you see the chart patterns? Similar, high tops, high tops, higher bottom, and a big crash. Yes. The lessons you learn from the history. You actually learn from your history, and that really helps you a lot. Okay. So let's see what is the indicator. Okay, Nainesh, that will help us to find out the near top and near bottom. Before that, any questions you have, or अच्छा, I'll try to mix Hindi as well. हाँ.
श्योर. सो एक क्वेश्चन है, आपने एक इंडिकेटर बताया एमएसीडी. क्या वो इंडिकेटर अपने आप इनफ है टू शो यू के टॉप कौन सा है और बॉटम कौन सा है?
It's a good question, Nainesh. See, इंडिकेटर आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक, बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में भी बताने वालों कि वो ये इंडिकेटर को हम लोग कैसे यूज़ करते हैं टू फिगर आउट नियर टॉप एंड नियर बॉटम. आई एम यूजिंग माई वर्ड्स वेरी केयरफुली, क्योंकि जब भी हम लोग बोलते हैं ना टॉप और बॉटम फाइंड करने के लिए हमारे पास इंडिकेटर, दैट इज अ स्कैम. ओके, बट ये जो इंडिकेटर है आपको एक हेल्प कर रहा है कि ये प्रोबेबल टॉप बन गया और ये प्रोबेबल बॉटम बन गया है. ठीक है, बट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू यूज ओनली दैट, वी आर गोइंग टू यूज एक प्राइस मोमेंटम भी यूज करेंगे उसके अंदर. और हमारे गुजराती में कहते हैं, और आई थिंक सो जो भी स्टॉक मार्केट में इट इज वेरी फेमस सेइंग, द प्राइस इज द गॉड. लेकिन जब भी गुजराती में बोलते हैं तो और इम्पैक्ट आती है, भाव भगवान से. भाव भगवान से मीन्स प्राइस इज द किंग. आपका जो भी एनालिसिस होता है अलॉन्ग विथ योर इंडिकेटर, बट इट हैज टू बी कंफर्म्ड. आप जो प्राइजेस पे डालते हो वो प्राइस पे कंफर्म होना चाहिए. अगर वो प्राइस पे कंफर्म नहीं होता है तो आप कुछ भी ले लो, बाकी सब डेरिवेटिव्स है ऑफ द प्राइस. बाकी सब अपने वैल्यूज डिराइव करते हैं क्लोजिंग प्राइजेस पे या वॉलेटिलिटी पे. तो एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन क्लोजिंग. तो टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, एक इंडिकेटर आपको एक इंडिकेशन देता है, इट इज दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल इंडिकेटर, दे आर इंडिकेटिंग समथिंग. लेकिन जो प्राइस एक्शन है वो फाइनल ट्रूथ है. ठीक है, सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू जो अभी देख रहे लाइव और मे बी इन द फ्यूचर, हाउ मेनी को पता है व्हाट इज एमएससीडी, हाउ इट इज एक्चुअली कैलकुलेटेड? नैनेश, डू यू नो हाउ एमएससीडी इज कैलकुलेटेड?
No, no, it's a very interesting one. I mean, for our viewers, please आप बताइए एमएसीडी क्या होता है और उसको कैलकुलेट कैसे करते हैं?
Sure. So let's do this. Like मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा था, लेट्स पूछते कि किन किन लोग अपनी ऑडियंस में अभी जो देख रहे हैं वो एमएससीडी का एक्चुअली यूज करते हैं. कैन प्लीज आप चैट पे डाल सकते हो कि आप में से कौन कौन एमएससीडी यूज करते हो?
श्योर. सो फॉर आवर यूजर्स, आप में से कौन कौन आपके ट्रेडिंग में एमएसीडी जो है इंडिकेटर, मूविंग एवरेज, कन्वर्जेंस और डाइवर्जेंस यूज करते हैं आपके ट्रेडिंग में?
द फॉरेक्स, यस, पर आप यूज करते हो अपने ट्रेडिंग में? So looks like people are not using that much. सर मैं करता हूँ. ओके ओके, परफेक्ट, थैंक यू थैंक यू.
Okay.
So this is how an MACD gets calculated. थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है लेकिन लेट मी ट्राई माई लेवल बेस्ट. ठीक है,
Sure.
नैनेश, ये प्राइस है, ऑब्वियसली एवरीबडी अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज द प्राइस कैंडलस्टिक चार्ट. मतलब मैं इतना बेसिक भी नहीं जा सकता. आई वुड एडवाइस कि फ्यूचर में हम लोग टेक्निकल एनालिसिस का कोर्स करने वाले हैं, सो उसमें वी विल टॉक अबाउट दिस कैंडल स्टिक एंड एवरीथिंग. लेकिन यहाँ पे एक दो लाइन दिख रही है, एक मूविंग एवरेज दिख रही है और सेकंड भी मूविंग एवरेज ही है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक, अगर ये मैं शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज और लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज की डेफिनेशन में बोलता हूँ नैनेश, तो विच वुड बी द शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज एंड विच वन वुड बी द लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज?
So the one
ब्लू
which is
कलर की.
closer, blue color, blue color की है.
सो
That is the
आपने
shorter
बराबर
term.
आंसर दिया, आपने बराबर आंसर दिया. वन विच इज वेरी क्लोजर टू दी प्राइजेस इज द शॉर्ट टर्म, और जो प्राइजेस से दूर है वो लॉन्ग टर्म है, विच इज वेरी सिंपल, राइट? क्योंकि अगर मैं एक
Yes.
मूविंग एवरेज लेता हूं तो प्राइजेस के जो सबसे नजदीक है वो शॉर्ट टर्म है. और वो इतनी फास्ट मूव क्यों होती है? वो इतनी फास्ट मूव क्यों होती है? क्योंकि आप रिसेंट के ही क्लोजिंग प्राइसेस ले रहे हो. तो जैसे जैसे रिसेंट में मूवमेंट फटाफट आती है तो आपकी शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेजेस फास्ट मूव होना चालू हो जाती है. यस. लेकिन जो
Yes.
15, समझ लो ये जो लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज है, लेट्स फॉर आवर कैलकुलेशन पर्पस, ये 12 दिन की मूविंग एवरेज है और ये 26 दिन की मूविंग एवरेज है, रेड वाली. ओके.
Okay.
तो ये 12 दिन की मूविंग एवरेज लास्ट 12 दिन का क्लोजिंग प्राइस ले रहा है, और ये जो रेड वाली है वो लास्ट 26 दिन का क्लोजिंग प्राइस ले रहा है. तो अगर लास्ट 10 दिन में एक बड़ा मूवमेंट आया तो 12 दिन की मूविंग एवरेज विल मूव मच फास्टर देन 26 दिन. यस और नो? यस.
Yes.
तो ये 12 दिन की मूविंग एवरेज क्रॉस करती है 26 दिन को. दैट मीन्स इन द शॉर्ट टर्म द प्राइजेस आर एक्चुअली गोइंग अप. इन द शॉर्ट टर्म द प्राइजेस आर गोइंग मच फास्टर, और वो अपने को क्रॉस कर रही है 26 पीरियड डे की मूविंग एवरेज. एट
Right.
वन पर्टिकुलर जंक्शन अगर मैं दोनों का डिफरेंस निकाल रहा हूँ, और शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज और लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज का, कैन यू सी दिस ब्लू लाइन?
Yeah.
ये जो ब्लू लाइन है नीचे, जो एमएससीडी की ब्लू लाइन है, उसकी वैल्यू क्या है?
Close to zero. Yeah, zero.
सो व्हेन अ शॉर्ट टर्म क्रॉसिंग लॉन्ग टर्म फ्रॉम द बिलो एंड गोज अप, एट वन पर्टिकुलर जंक्शन इट विल क्रॉस जीरो लाइन,
Right.
क्योंकि दोनों के बीच का कोई डिफरेंस ही नहीं है. लेकिन जैसे जैसे प्राइस स्ट्रांगली अप ट्रेंड हो रहा है, तो शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज है, इट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग अप मच फास्टर, whereas the 20 period moving average is taking 26 period moving average is taking some time. तो दोनों के बीच का क्या हो रहा है? डिफरेंस बढ़ते जा रहा है.
Yes.
दैट मीन शॉर्ट टर्म में मार्केट ने बहुत तेजी पकड़ ली है, तो शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एकदम ऊपर जा रही है और 26 दिन वाली को टाइम लग रहा है, तो दोनों का जो डिफरेंस है वो बढ़ते जा रहा है. द मोमेंटम इज गोइंग अप, एंड दैट्स व्हाट एमएसीडी डिपिक्ट्स. ये जो ब्लू लाइन है ना, इट डिपिक्ट्स मोमेंटम. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम हियर. अभी यहाँ पे जब भी प्राइसेस बढ़ रहे थे दोनों का डिफरेंस बढ़ रहा था, राइट? बट ऑल ऑफ अ सडन दोनों के डिफरेंस कम होना चालू हो गया, एंड वन पर्टिकुलर डे इट जस्ट क्रॉस्ड डाउन. नाउ कैन यू सी दिस ब्लू लाइन विच इज नथिंग बट अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन द शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज और ये
And
जो
the
लाल वाली लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज, दोनों का डिफरेंस है. ठीक है. जैसे ही दोनों का डिफरेंस कम होने लगा तो आपको बोलने लगा कि भाई मोमेंटम खत्म हो रहा है, और फिर उसने जीरो लाइन को क्रॉस कर दिया. कैन यू सी हियर? एंड जैसे
yes.
जैसे वो नीचे की तरफ मोमेंटम आ गया, सो द शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज ऑन द लाइक ऑन द डाउनवर्ड साइड, जो ब्लू लाइन थी, इट स्टार्टेड इंक्रीजिंग इट्स मोमेंटम, बट देन इट बिकेम फ्लैट.
Yeah.
सो व्हाट दिस ब्लू लाइन, एंड लॉट ऑफ पीपल डजंट नो व्हाट इज दिस ब्लू. खाली हम लोग को चार्ट में दिखा दिया कि एक लाइन क्रॉस करते हैं, दूसरे को तो बाई करो और दूसरे को नीचे करते हैं तो सेल करो. बट you have to understand the logic behind them. You have to understand the logic of behind them कि ये इंडिकेटर करता क्या है, और ये इंडिकेटर आपको एक मोमेंटम दिखाता है. ठीक है. अ कॉमन क्वेश्चन में ऑल्सो कम, तो ये ब्लू लाइन तो ठीक है, समझ गया मैं कि एमएससीडी है जो शॉर्ट टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म का डिफरेंस है. तो ये ऑरेंज लाइन क्या है? ये ऑरेंज लाइन इज एक्चुअली nothing but an average. Okay, it's an average of the main blue line. क्योंकि इसकी भी वैल्यू है 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, तो मैं उसकी एक एवरेज ले सकता हूँ. सो आई गेट टू नो कि व्हाट ऑन एन एवरेज प्राइजेस ऊपर है कि नीचे है. फॉर आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग फॉर टुडे वी डोंट रिक्वायर दिस मच. ये जो MACD की एवरेज लाइन है उसकी ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट वी आर गोइंग टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन दी MACD. सो दिस इज हाउ आई मेड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज MACD. यहाँ पे कोई क्वेश्चन है तो let I can take those questions, or maybe I'll move forward.
Wow. So Vishal has, in very simple words from the chart, showed us how MACD formed, how is MACD read, and what is the understanding of the lines. Okay, the moving averages, a long-term moving average, and a short-term moving average. We leave the forum open to ask all our audience. Do you have any questions for Vishal on MACD? On what Vishal explained to us? How do you read a chart with an indicator which is MACD? Any questions? Guys, please put it on the chat. Vishal, till we get the questions on the chat, I think we can go ahead.
Yes,
I'm very interested
yes,
to learn what you have in store for us.
awesome, awesome. So let's move forward. So there is a concept जो मैं यूज करता हूँ, जो MACD का बहुत ही पावरफुल कॉन्सेप्ट है, लेकिन लीस्ट अंडरस्टूड कॉन्सेप्ट. इट्स कॉल्ड इज डाइवर्जेंस. ओके, जस्ट फॉर आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग पर्पस वी विल अंडरस्टैंड टेक्निकली कि डाइवर्जेंस क्या होता है. पहले हम लोग अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं बेरिश डाइवर्जेंस. ठीक है, बेरिश डाइवर्जेंस करता क्या है, इज बेसिकली अगर एक प्राइस ऊपर जा रहा है, ओके, तो आपका जो मोमेंटम होता है वो भी ऊपर जाना चाहिए. लेकिन अगर वो नीचे जाता है, सो टेक्निकल टर्म में उसको हम लोग बेरिश डाइवर्जेंस बोल देते हैं. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट, ओके, एंड वी विल सी. हम लोग बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स लेंगे टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट कि भाई प्राइजेस ऊपर जा रहा है तो मोमेंटम भी ऊपर जाना चाहिए था. अगर नहीं जा रहा है तो समथिंग इज रॉन्ग एंड आई हैव टू बी केयरफुल. और अगर प्राइजेस नीचे जा रहे हैं तो मोमेंटम भी नीचे जाना चाहिए था. लेकिन अगर वो ऊपर जा रहा है, सो दैट टेल्स यू कि भाई रिवर्सल मे बी देयर. ठीक है, सिंपल सा कॉन्सेप्ट है. प्राइजेस ऊपर जा रहा है तो इंडिकेटर भी ऊपर जाना चाहिए, लेकिन अगर नहीं जाता है तो इट इज गिविंग यू सम इंडिकेशन. ओके, इट गिव्स यू सम इंडिकेशन. भी वो इंडिकेशन को कैसे ट्रेड करना है वी विल टॉक लेटर. सिमिलरली अगर प्राइजेस नीचे जा रहा है, दे आर मेकिंग अ न्यू बॉटम, but indicators are making a new higher bottoms, so that means it is bullish divergence and a bearish divergence. So let me just explain you with a real example. Nainesh, you stay in Bombay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just for fun your friend calls you up कि यार नैनेश बहुत धूप हो गई, अभी मार्च अप्रैल चालू हो गया, लेट्स गो टू लोनावाला. इट्स अ हिल स्टेशन near Bombay, and you get onto this car and nicely enjoying. Okay, you are driving because we have a highway, express highway, which goes an inclination of about 40-50 degree, and
Right.
you say, okay, let's drive at 70-80 kilometers per hour because it's an express highway. But all of a sudden, just for fun तूने एक्सीलरेटर कम कर दिया, एक्सीलरेटर से पैर हटा दिया, तो तेरी गाड़ी इमीडिएटली रुक जाएगी?
No, no, no,
नहीं.
not possible.
What will happen?
It will basically slowly stop. So धीरे धीरे स्पीड कम होते जाएगी और
And
फिर
then
रुकेगी.
रुकेगी, but then because of the inclination what will happen?
It will come backwards.
It will come down as well. Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Yes.
The law of physics applies everywhere, even in the stock market. Okay, there is a gravitational force which will always act.
Right.
Understand this. So अगर गाड़ी तेरी full speed पे जा रही है, that is your direction. That is your direction.
Direction.
और जो तू एक्सीलरेटर कर रहा था वो तेरा मोमेंटम था. द मिनट तेरा मोमेंटम रिड्यूस होना चालू हो जाएगा, because of your initial momentum your price action will still keep on going up for some time, but after a point of time when the momentum falls the car will come down. Yes or no? Understand this concept clearly?
Yes. Excellent.
Yes.
Very nice.
So that's the bearish divergence for us. Obviously bullish divergence I can take it, you push down If it doesn't, then it's going to get bounced back. So let's understand with a live examples of how do I actually look for the tops and the bottoms.
Before we go to that, Vishal, I have some questions on the chat, and I think we
Sure,
can take it up since we have
sure.
discussed this. We've got a question from Ritik, and he says divergence means trend is slowing down, or is about to change. What does it actually mean?
It is slowing down. Divergence is just tell you it is slowing down, but about to change will be confirmed by the prices.
Which means you will not take your trade until price confirms it.
That is very correct.
Correct. We've got one more question from Sagar, and Sagar is asking how many candles it takes to get the best divergence. Like, what is the right number of candles that you should wait for?
So सागर जितना बड़ा डाइवर्जेंस सी आइडियली टू हैव अ डाइवर्जेंस यू कैन हैव कैंडल मतलब मैंने इतने शॉर्ट टर्म में भी डाइवर्जेंस देखे 3 कैंडल के when you put plot a 2 period RSI or maybe in the future we'll talk about that strategy also. But the answer to your question is okay, what is your mind frame, what is the trading horizon you are trading. Okay, what do I mean by that? एक बाइक को यू टर्न लेना है तो इमीडिएटली बाइक को हैंडल घुमाए वो टर्न ले लेगा यू टर्न. लेकिन अगर टाइटेनिक को यू टर्न लेना था तो it takes lot of time, right?
Correct.
So it depends on what is the time frame of the divergence that you are looking and trying to trade. If I'm going to trade a shorter time frame 5 मिनट 15 मिनट का then मतलब 10-15 कैंडल में ही मेरा काम हो जाएगा. लेकिन if I'm going to look for a divergence of a 2008 crash or a 1929 crash or a 1987 crash, then I will not decide, but at least 3 से 4 महीने के divergences होते हैं. Okay, so it completely depends on the divergence horizon that you are trading.
Yeah, Vishal, you can go ahead with the tops and bottoms.
ठीक है. So let me explain you how I would use this as an example, and you can go on my Twitter timeline. वहाँ पे मैंने 2020 का यही पिक्चर का स्क्रीनशॉट डाल दिया था and telling you the market is repeating, it's rhyming itself. So be careful. Okay. So how do I decide it? And always remember, जब भी आप टॉप और बॉटम कैच करने जाते हो, it is you are going against the momentum. It's like this. अगर आप ट्रेन ट्रैक पे खड़े रह गए और सामने से ट्रेन आ रही है और आप बोलेगे ट्रेन रुक जा, तो ट्रेन ऐसे नहीं रुकती. You will go through 1 or 2 stop losses before actually catching near the top and near the bottom. But when you are stopping out, when you are getting stopped out, your losses will be small. लेकिन जिस दिन आपने बड़ा ट्रेंड पकड़ लिया, it will take care of all your losses and give you even bigger profit. Okay, so just for a caveat, so this is the how this was a classic example of 2008 crash. Let's see how you would have traded. So market chal raha hai and everything is in a bullish and everybody is talking nicely. Now if you see this, okay, this is the top, this is the top, market going up, indicator also going up, so everything is looking fine. गाड़ी ऊपर जा रही है, एक्सेलेरेटर भी ऊपर जा रहा है. You guys with me, right? And then all of a sudden something happens. Let me just, what happens? Price is going up, but the indicator, the MACD, the momentum is going down. That does not mean you go short on the market. Okay, मूविंग एवरेज डाइवर्जेंस दिखता है आपको, बेरिश डाइवर्जेंस, मतलब आपको शॉर्ट नहीं करना है. आपको चाहिए तो थोड़ा पार्शियल प्रॉफिट टेकिंग बुक करो या कीप योर स्टॉप लॉसेस टाइट, क्योंकि प्राइस एक्शन ने अभी तक कुछ कंफर्म नहीं किया है. सो हाउ वुड आई यूज प्राइस एक्शन देन? ठीक है, व्हाट विल आई डू इज आई विल फिगर आउट कि ये पर्टिकुलर टॉप का स्विंग कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ था. ये पर्टिकुलर टॉप अगर मैं एमएससीडी में भी देखता हूँ कि एमएससीडी ने क्रॉस ओवर करके यहाँ से घुमा था, एंड आई कैन विजुअली ऑल्सो सी दिस वाज द बॉटम. और ये जो सेकेंड टॉप है जहाँ पे डाइवर्जेंस बिल्ड हुआ ये दोनों के बीच का, उसका कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ था? यहाँ से. Yes or no?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this was the place where this swing started from, and this swing started from this particular bottom. और अगर आपको confusion हो रहा है तो look at the MACD, क्योंकि वो clean दिखता है. ये MACD का bottom है और ये MACD का bottom है. So जो भी concurrent bottom बन रहे हैं, these are strong bottoms. So remember हम लोग technical analysis में सीखे हैं कि to draw a trend line minimum you need how many points? 2 points, right? So I got
Multiple
my 2
points.
points. मैंने क्या किया? मैंने एक ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ कर दी टू वैलिडेट माय प्राइस कंफर्मेशन. नेक्स्ट प्राइस एक्शन क्या हुई? मैंने ये 2 पॉइंट से ड्रॉ किया था. इट गॉट ब्रीच्ड एंड क्लोज्ड बिलो द ट्रेंड लाइन. एज अ ट्रेडर ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट स्टॉप लॉस इज द ओनली होली ग्रेल. अगर आप स्टॉप लॉस लगाना नहीं जानते हो, सूनर और लेटर योर करियर विल बी फिनिश्ड. And I always remember one brilliant quote by Larry Williams. Okay, Larry Williams करके एक legendary trader है. He won the World Trading Championship 2 or 3 times in a big way.
Wow.
उन्होंने बोला कि if you do not take small losses, then one day you will take mother of all losses. Okay, and he said it this way. So your every small loss, no, sorry, your every big loss was once very small loss that you refused to take. Your biggest loss was once a very small loss that you refused to take. And because हम लोग stop loss नहीं डालते, we ruin our career. So as a trader, जैसे ये breakdown हुआ, मैंने क्या किया? उसका previous bar का high is my stop loss. ठीक है? What happened? ये जो ट्रेंड लाइन का मैंने प्रीवियस बार का हाई का स्टॉप लॉस रखा था, दैट गॉट ट्रिगर्ड आउट. सो आई स्टॉप्ड माई सेल्फ आउट. अगर आप लॉस नहीं ले सकते हो तो यू आर इन द रॉन्ग बिजनेस. ट्रेडिंग इज ऑल अबाउट टेकिंग लॉसेस, स्मॉल लॉसेस. ठीक है? बट व्हाट इज इंटरेस्टिंग, इवन मोर हैपनिंग, मार्केट और ऊपर जा रहा है. ठीक है? और एमएसीडी और नीचे जा रही है. Again there was a divergence. So I got this point, I got this point, and I got this point. Can I not draw a new trend line encompassing the new trend? And remember I told you that यहाँ पे कोई भी holy grail system की बात नहीं हो रही है. You will go wrong. Okay, you will go wrong, but your losses will be small, but your profits will be multifold. So मैं क्या करूँगा? To draw a trend line, I have got 2 swing bottoms now.
Yeah.
What I did? Draw a trend line connecting these 2 bottoms, closing below this, the trend line. What should I do? Put my stop losses just above this high.
Yes.
What happened to that? This high never got triggered, and we had this 2008 crash. ये पिक्टोरियली अभी अच्छा लग रहा है क्योंकि आई हैव टेकन एन एग्जांपल वेयर इट हैज वर्कड. ठीक है? लेकिन इन रियलिटी यू विल टेक एटलीस्ट 1 or 2 लॉसेस बिफोर यू एक्चुअली पिक द टॉप, क्योंकि यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट द ट्रेंड, यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट द मोमेंटम. जहां पे सब लोग खरीद रहे हैं वहां पे आप बेचने की ट्राई कर रहे हो, तो देर इज अ वेरी हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट यू विल गो रॉन्ग. लेकिन रिमेंबर द सीक्रेट वर्ड, आपके लॉसेस स्मॉल रहेंगे लेकिन प्रॉफिट ज्यादा रहेंगे, एंड दैट इज द ओनली होली ग्रेल. And I put out this Twitter chart. Okay, ये अभी तो मैंने यहाँ पे दिखाया, लेकिन I put it on Twitter because if you remember, learn from your history. This was 2008 crash.
Right.
Market was making new high. Everything was looking good. Same thing was happening in 2020 just before the Corona crash. Okay, market was going up, making new highs, new highs, new highs. So it was very nice. But what was MACD was telling you? Actually going down. So you pick this bottom, you pick this bottom, you draw a trend line. So from this bottom to the last bottom swing, there was a breakdown. You mark the high of this bar. Previous bar ka high is your stop loss. And you can see which was this. It did not touch on the closing basis. It came down budget ke din. I remember this was the budget day. bounced back. I still remember my options got decayed by my long positions were all squared off. Okay. And then we had this corona crash. So
Yes.
that is actually helped me to actually book out entire my profit. Like जो भी profit मेरा long only holding में था, I started booking
उसमें
it
से
out. हाँ.
So it's safe to say that you are one of the people who actually didn't get affected by the corona crisis.
In a way, yes, but obviously I had a option positions because I was so bearish on the market that I bought
Right.
huge quantity of puts which got decayed over here. But
Right.
yes, I luckily in the long only portfolio I got benefited a lot. ठीक है? The same thing was happening at that similar time in the Dow
Yeah.
Jones. The market was going up. So maybe Corona was the reason for the market to go down. But the divergence were already telling you that something is cooking up. So they need a catalyst to fall. Okay, and that catalyst was Corona crash. So, but the structure of the market वो change हो गया था. Structure was saying कि although everybody is bullish and somebody is written somewhere, उसने लिखा हुआ है कि it's a human psychology that it will bounce back. Yes, and that's where when everybody is talking कि मेरे घर पे मेरी मम्मी भी बोलती है कि भाई विशाल स्टॉक मार्केट में पैसा बना रहा है कि नहीं क्योंकि बाकी सब बना रहे तू क्यों नहीं बना रहा है. That is the ultimate kind of thing. But although my mom is very savvy investor, so that's good. But the point is कि this structure was always telling you that something is coming up. So अगर ये top find करने में help करता है तो does it help to find the bottom as well? So let's see. And by the way, I did a bungee jumping in Goa from a 20 plus floor. So this remind me of that. Let's understand from 2008 crash. Remember, हम लोग ने एक bullish divergence का example लिया था कि prices going up and sorry prices going down and indicator going up. पर कभी कभी market ऐसे भी react नहीं करता. After 2008 crash, market was actually making a triple bottom. Okay, so ideally indicator should also make a triple bottom.
Yes.
Yes or no? But it did
Yes.
not. It was telling you कि जो फोर्स से मार्केट गिर रहा था यहाँ पे अभी नहीं गिर रहा है. तो जो शॉर्ट सेलर होते हैं दे आर पैनिकिंग क्योंकि हम लोग की आदत होती है कि बेचा और पैसा मिलना चाहिए, खरीदा पैसा मिलना चाहिए. जिस दिन हम लोग ने बेचा और पैसा स्लोली स्लोली मिलने लगा तो स्ट्रेस लेवल बढ़ते जाता है और एक बड़ा मूवमेंट आता है तो वी स्टार्ट गोइंग इनटू शॉर्ट कवरिंग मोड. एंड दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड Nainesh here. Market made a triple bottom, but the indicator was actually going up. Where should I find my price action? Always remember price action. इसका टॉप ये था, इसका टॉप ये था. ड्रॉ ट्रेंड लाइन कनेक्टिंग द टॉप्स. एक बार का स्टॉप लॉस रख के अगर यहाँ पे भी अगर आप ट्रिगर हो जाते थे ठीक है, ओनली वन बार स्टॉप लॉस, बट फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टर्म पोजिशंस you could have benefited from it. Yes, Aniket, you were right. There was no bullish divergence coming in 2020 bullish. Actually, I was waiting for it, right? And I missed out on half of the rally of the V-shaped reverse. And nothing wrong in accepting if you're wrong. I was waiting for that same structure to play out, to rhyme it out, but it was a completely V-shaped reverse which took everyone by surprise. लेकिन वहां पे भी अगर आप 100-day मूविंग एवरेज या 200-day मूविंग एवरेज का फिल्टर रखो then you can go back in again. This was just few days back. Okay, 22nd March. आज कौन सी है 25th March. On an intraday chart, on a bank nifty, what was
Okay.
happening? Prices making double
Double bottom.
bottom.
Double bottom.
Indicator was going high. Where would you get your peak from? These two bottoms, stops. Yes, these are the two major swings. Sorry, obviously this was here. You draw trend line from that. What happened to that? This was the
Wow.
breakout. People tried to push the prices down. There was also major support of 35,500 from the past as well. So that actually tell you कि भाई ये divergence अभी पूरा play out करो short covering में. And I actually played it with the options this time.
Wow.
So I do this discretionary trade on and off just to keep myself occupied to make sure that I'm able to understand what's the market behavior and structure happening. So this is I'm just going to wrap it up. This is my team. Obviously, nothing can be achieved without a team. So, we are pretty much active on our Twitter handles and on our mobile number and on our email address. Obviously, you can look at it at a later stage as well. And yeah, we do have a blog where we keep on putting a lot of interesting articles. We have a Telegram channel which you can join. And if somebody wants to have some ideas and want to backtest their ideas, we are happy to help them with them as well. So that's us.
Wow.
We are on YouTube as well, and a lot of good, insightful videos. This I really wanted to highlight. If you're watching it now or in the future as well, there are lots and lots and lots of insightful videos. No, we don't want to sell strategies, but we want to give you ideas. We want you to build your trading career on the ideas. So we have put it out everything that we know on those. So with this, I will stop sharing my screen and will open up for the questions.
Sure. So Vishal gave us a very, very detailed understanding of how MACD is used, whether on an intraday time frame, whether you look at it from a daily chart, and how actually MACD had given the understanding that markets can have a near-term bottom or a near-term top. So very interesting, Vishal. I'm going to open the questions. We've got a lot of questions on the chat as well. We'll start taking some of them. So I have a question from Ashutosh. Do moving averages actually work in identifying stock market trends?
So if moving average does not identify it, then I don't think so. What will? Okay. So Ashutosh, for simple question, simple answer is yes. Yes, they may give you whipsaw and never come to the stock market. कभी भी मत आओ stock market में सोच के कि कोई 100% system है. They will have whipsaws, but you have to understand उनका broader काम क्या है. उनका broader काम है to give you the underlying trend, and a 100-day moving average or a 200-day moving average do give you underlying trend of the markets.
Got it. So we have a question from Ritik, and Ritik is asking, can we use RSI also to understand the momentum in the markets?
You can use MACD or RSI. MACD is little laggard in nature, so it helps you to kind of find out major tops and bottoms. But for short term reversal, you can definitely look at RSI. And for my short term trading, I usually look at the RSIs.
Got it. So we have a question from Srinivas. What is the timeline that we need to track the MACD? Will it be daily, weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly?
It's your time frame. Okay, see, it's like this. कि अगर मैं एक कारपेंटर हूँ, ओके, और आपने मुझे फावड़ा दे दिया और 100 दे दिया, तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं मुझे. आई नीड हैमर, राइट, टू बी अ गुड carpenter, or I need the right tools. Similarly, you have to define what is your time frame. Am I a intraday trader? तो मैं बाई वीकली का चार्ट देखे कोई मतलब नहीं मुझे. I have to look at 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute chart. If I'm a swing trader trading for 15 days to 20 days, I will look for daily chart and a MACD of at least 1 to 2 months. Okay, if I'm a very big positional trader like a hedge fund, and I cannot move my money just like this, so I may be looking at a weekly chart with at least 6-7 months of weekly divergence. So depending on your time frame, you decide your time frame and your horizon. So there is no right or wrong answer for that.
Right. We've got a question from Akansh, and he's asking you, how do you identify false breakouts?
It's a brilliant question. So, I have a very good friend. He works with GM Financial. Okay, and he say was break नहीं थप्पड़ से डर नहीं लगता, breakout से डर लगता है. Okay, so it's like breakouts are meant to 70 to 80% of the breakout fails. Okay, the best way to identify if a breakout is false is first of all through a volume breakout. If a breakout is happening without a volume, that's a very good indication that it may fail. Second way of identifying if it is a false breakout is confluencing of a 5 minute and a 15 minute chart, और दोनों के जो पिक है सेम हो रहे हैं, या डेली और वीकली के जो पिक बन रहे हैं, मल्टी टाइम फ्रेम ब्रेकआउट्स are much more powerful than a single time frame breakouts. So, और तीसरा, if you're a breakout traders, you will fail most of the time. The real crux of the breakout is, मैं खुद अपने दिखाया जो ट्रेंड लाइन का एग्जांपल किया, प्रीवियस बार का लो is your stop loss. So if the breakout is going to fail, you're going to lose only that bar, right? But if the breakout is genuine, you're going to make at least 6-7 bar ka money, which will take care of your future 2-3 false breakout ka. So you have to think in that way.
Interesting answer. That also talks about a risk reward and money management, when you take your trades. We'll take the last question before we wrap it
Sure.
up, Vishal. If we have a grip on demand and supply, and also on support and resistance, is there a chance that you can have a 90% win in the market?
My God, it's like, I would say, if you can do that, see, I am no one to tell you whether you can do it or not. I am not able to do it. I've been in the market for a long period of time. That does not mean that you cannot do it. If you can do it, if you put so much of an effort and think, but always remember there are certain laws of trading. Okay, there are certain laws of trading. If your win rate is high, your average profit will be much lesser than your average loser. Okay, there are certain rules like trend following में your probability, अगर कोई मेरे पास कोई trend following की system लेके आता है and he says that I have a 70% win rate in trend following, I completely put a cross and say that something is wrong. If somebody comes and tells me कि Vishal, I have a 40% mean reversion trading strategy, no, something is wrong with your mean reversion. There are certain principles, so you can get 90%, but I am not able to do it. There are people I find out on Twitter, they are always right, making money all the time. Maybe they are able to get those grips on that demand and supply, but I am unable to do it. But I will be the wrong person to answer that you cannot do it. Maybe you can do it.
Yeah, as in honestly, if you manage your risk reward correctly, follow your trading system rules correctly, 90% is not what you look at. But if you even look at a humble 50-60%, you're good enough. I mean, you could call yourself a good trader. So at that note, Vishal, I'll have to end the session. Although I really loved it, enjoyed it, and I'm sure our viewers enjoyed the session. We're surely going to have more interactions with you on more topics with technical analysis. Till then, thank you. Thanks a lot for being there. It was an amazing session.
Thank you. Thank you, Fisdom, and thanks, Nainesh. Bye.